Um, Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to speak at your event today. So my name is Laurence, and I'm the Director for AI Industry Innovation in AI Singapore. And the next 30 minutes, I will share with you how AI Singapore, what AI Singapore is, and how we are trying to get Singapore to adopt AI in a faster manner.
AI Singapore, a national program launched to catalyze, synergize, and boost Singapore's artificial intelligence capabilities.
AI Singapore's vision is to put Singapore in the world map for AI technology. It will actually make our company in Singapore more competitive globally. It will improve the life of Singaporeans by empowering them with AI tools and techniques. We expect to see many startup companies that will create meaningful and interesting jobs for many Singaporeans in Singapore.
AI Singapore will seed fundamental research efforts aimed at developing AI and adjacent technologies with high impact factor, thereby contributing to the plans of AI Singapore. We will launch and support annual grants that call for bold ideas and innovative approaches in areas such as robustness and explainability of AI, learning from small and multimodal data, abstraction and generalization, and AI with sense-making, hypothesis generation, design and creative capabilities. Multidisciplinary research teams will be supported to tackle AI grand challenges, which have significant social and economic impacts on Singapore and the world. Aligned with Singapore's Smart Nation plans, a set of AI grand challenges in health, urban solutions, and finance are formulated jointly by researchers, domain experts, policymakers, and thought leaders. A grand challenge is impactful, bringing great benefits to many people. Inspiring, as it will be highly transformative and enlightening to attract top minds and change agents to work together. And measurable, clearly demonstrating breakthroughs and quantifiable success. AI innovation is a strategic thrust that aims to broaden the use and adoption of artificial intelligence in Singapore. In its 100 Experiments program, companies with a significant industry problem will be matched with AI researchers in Singapore to work on their problem statement. AI Singapore will co-fund up to $250,000 to work on the project. The company is then expected to contribute 1:1 in cash and in kind. Our target is to reach a minimum viable product status within 9 to 18 months. Throughout the 5-year program, we will groom our local talents for the future workforce. AI Singapore has introduced a 9-month, full-time AI apprenticeship program, which consists of a hybrid of classroom and online training. And through the 100 Experiments program, the apprentices will also get on-the-job training by working on a real-world AI problem, guided by AI Singapore's mentors and 100 researchers. By powering Singapore's efforts in developing deep national capabilities in artificial intelligence, our aim is to create economic and societal impacts, turning Singapore into a world leader in the field of AI.
So that's a short video that we did to try to explain to the audience what AI Singapore is. And the next few slides, I'll share a little bit more exactly what we do. It is a national AI program funded by the Singapore government. Well, I am an employee of the National University of Singapore. We work with all the universities in Singapore. That includes Nanyang Technological University, Singapore Management University, our National Research Lab, A-STAR, SUTD, SIT, SUSS. The way we work then is that we tap on the AI researchers there to help in our industry projects. So in AI research, we have a scientific committee that's been formed, and they will basically set the tone for the research that the researchers would undertake for the next 1 or 2 years. So they issue out an annual grant call. So that's very typical of academic grant research. And for this year, the focus will be on explainable AI, learning from small data sets, and AI with sense-making ability. So that's AI research, very standard academic grant program. AI technology is slightly different, where we are looking at 5 to 10 years out, AI technology that could be impactful if applied correctly to elevate some of the problems that Singapore as a society or as a nation have. And we have identified 3 pillars, mainly healthcare, urban, and finance. So we have already done healthcare. It took nearly a year to get consensus from both academia, industry, and government, right, to come and approve and support this statement, which is, how can AI help primary care teams stop or slow disease progression and complications development in the 3H by 20% in 5 years. 3H being hyperglycemia, which is diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. I'm pretty sure, some of the older generation of us here have at least one of this in this room, okay? As Singapore itself, this tree is very high and is costing us a lot of money. And the government is very keen to see how AI can help solve, not cure, right? Solve some of these issues. So, AI innovation. AI innovation is a piece that I run and I manage, and I'm not an academic. I'm actually from the industry, several startups. The last one was with Revolution Analytics, which was acquired by Microsoft. And under that, I came actually to Korea nearly every few months, right? So we have businesses in Korea. And the reason why the funding agencies that funded AI Singapore asked me to come in and help is that they want to see how they want to do this program differently from a traditional academic exercise. They want to bring in someone that had experience in building products for the industry. So we designed it as what we call the 100 experiments. So in this case, the industry or the company come to us with a problem statement, an AI problem statement, or a problem statement that they think that AI can be used. We are very clear about what we can and we cannot support. We will only support those projects that there is no existing solutions, projects that need a little bit of research, that needs a professor or researcher to raise up their hands and say, yes, this is an area of my interest, of my expertise, I can help. If there is an existing commercial solution or vendor out there, we will not take on the project. We'll direct the company to work with those already in the industry. The company will have to come in with manpower and data sets. As we know, a lot of AI today requires lots of data sets, even small data sets, clean data sets. That's also a challenge. And they have to match what we put in on a one-to-one in cash and in kind. And what do we put in from AI Singapore? We put in cash of up to $250,000. That goes not to the company. The company doesn't get a single cent. The money goes to the researcher and the engineering team to hire the necessary engineers to actually build the solution. So we bring in the engineering expertise. A lot of them are from industry. Academia, some the professors will be involved, some of the PhDs or postdocs will be involved, but we involve professional developers from the industry that we hire. And we bring in a very special group of people, the AI apprentices. And we'll talk more about them in the next few slides. And the end goal is to create a minimum viable product in 9 to 18 months. And in doing so, we also train 2 to 4 AI engineers. These are our AI apprentices, right? That will become AI engineers when they finish, when they are trained in 9 months. And we'll come back to these AI apprentices in the next few slides, because that's really a key significant difference of the program. So what are some of the projects that we have done the last 1 year that we have started? We have projects in skincare. Today we know image diagnosis is, you can get to 95, 99% accuracy by pigeons, right? So it can be done very well. But imagine on a handphone, you have that algorithm that can determine whether your skin is, the lesion on your skin is cancerous or not. But you have to remember, the pictures that was used to train were all done under ideal condition, under medical grade cameras, done properly by technicians. But how would that work when you as a daily normal user, or maybe a 65-year-old gentleman with hands a little bit shaky trying to take that picture? It's going to be very tough. The picture that's taken is not going to be of sufficient quality to give a good signal. So this startup is working with us. We are trying to create an AI to guide the taking of the picture, to make sure the picture is of good enough quality before it gets fed to the other AI algorithm that determines whether the skin has a problem or not. We also have projects in micro-lending. We have projects in relationship, which is very interesting. This was one of our first projects. Singapore has a very low birth rate. And this company promised that if we help them, they'll try to get couples to hook up faster, get married faster, and have kids faster. So, okay, let's try. It's an NLP project, right? So we have several other healthcare projects. We have projects in the IoT area where one of the major companies in Singapore has installed lots of sensors in the lift, and together with a professor from SMU in this case, and our apprentice, they have actually built an algorithm to do predictive lift maintenance. Other projects in maritime security, in factory IoT, analytics, and so on. So quite a broad range of projects have been done within the last 1 year, and we call it 100 experiments because I have funding to do 100 of this. So $250,000 times 100 means $25 million to do 100 of these projects. So I spoke about the apprenticeship and the apprentice. This apprenticeship program is a 9 months program that we created. We think this is the world's first, right? Modeled after the Germans, right? The Germans liked, they had apprenticeship. Where working adults, they actually quit their job. They have to quit their job, or they could be jobless. They come in for 9 months if they get selected, and we don't really train them for 2 months. We give them the opportunity to continue to deep skill themselves for 2 months, and then they start working on the 100 experiments. The 100 experiments is a $500,000 project, if you think about it. 250,000 from AI Singapore, 250,000 from the company. This is real-world AI problems that we're trying to solve. The apprentice gets into this program not to reskill themselves. To get into the program, they are likely intermediate Python, R developers, advanced or professional software developers, someone who have done not 1, but probably 2 or last 3 years, spending time doing multiple courses online, whether it's at Coursera, Udacity, DataCamp, or just going back to school, but learning on their own. So when they get in, my task is easier. They have learned, they have all the knowledge. What they lack is real-world experience. And that's the reason why a lot of companies don't hire them. Because they look at their resume and say, well, you don't really have a computer science degree in AI, and you have not worked on a real AI problem. yes, you have done all the AI courses on all these online platforms, but no. But what we have found is that those that are really passionate, and we can actually tell, they're actually doing very well. So today, we actually have apprentice, we have already finished our first batch. I would say all of them have got a job. My second batch, I have 40% that comes from a computer science background, 40% from an engineering background. The other 20%, I have physics grads, I have maths grads, I have economists, I have business grads in there. It doesn't really matter. And some of them, midway through, have already been offered jobs in leading companies doing AI. And what we really believe is this, right? And I read this quote from Aristotle on my way here, and I added it into the slide. That's why you don't have it in your handout. For the things that we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. And I thought that this is so true to what we are doing in the apprenticeship program, right? Rather than just attending courses after courses, let's get our hands dirty and let's work on real-world problem. And the picture that you are seeing, this is where all our apprentice works. We don't put them out to company. The whole 9 months they are stationed in our office. They work next to the AI mentors, our researchers. And one of the beauty of that is the accelerated learning that we have seen, where imagine you may have a computer scientist that is, or computer science grad that is doing the AI problem, but when he hits into a business domain problem, let's say in procurement, he could spin the chair around and behind him is a 5-year veteran procurement manager that is also going through the apprenticeship program. Or a computer science grad may not be very strong in stats, but 2 chairs away could be a master's of stats sitting there, going through the same program. So putting them together has led to a lot of this collaboration, a lot of sharing, and really learning happens when there's sharing and when everybody is willing to teach each other. So these are 3 batches that we have. Now Singapore, I mean, I guess same in all other countries, there's a lack of AI talents, and it's very hard to hire and find them. And the genesis of why I even created this program was to solve my own problem. Remember, I have to do 100 experiments. When I first started, I tried to hire, I couldn't find. So what did I do? I created the apprenticeship program to train the people so that I have hands and legs to work on my 100 experiments. So today we are onto our 3rd batch. And just 2 days ago, we had a networking night where about 10 companies came and networked with our apprentice, trying to induce them to join their companies. So that's the apprenticeship program, and we don't stop there. We also have AI for Industry, which is a 3 to 12 months program that we basically upskill. This is more of an upskilling program where we train more, we provide opportunity for people to self-learn and upskill themselves in Python and R and so on. So this is for, think of this as for desktop analysts who wants to learn more of Python and R. But as we did the 100 experiment, one of the blocker that I found was that a lot of industries, actually a lot of managers had this fear of AI or this misunderstanding of AI. And for me to hit my KPI of 100 experiments, it's actually now 200. We have gotten our second tranche of funding. I have to do 200 projects now. I need to teach, I need to dispel this myth of AI. We get into companies where managers don't want to talk to us because they say, well, if I bring AI in, I'll lose my job. But the CEO, the CXO wants to talk about AI because that's what the investors want to see the company do. So in order to overcome that, we came out with a 3-hour seminar. We call it AI for Everyone. And I actually launched AI for Everyone last August. Okay, so way before Andrew Ng's Coursera AI for Everyone. It's very popular. It's always sold out. And last month, we ran a special edition, AI for Everyone for women. was the biggest turnout. We had 600 women in the room. Okay, I was the fortunate one of 2 men in the room of 600 women. So with that, we are gaining a lot of momentum in this AI for everyone. But I believe in education. And we don't just stop at working professionals. We now have AI for students where we offer any school-going kid from secondary school or high school onwards a platform, free, totally free, for them to learn data science. It used that the school needs to pay some vendor $5, $10, $20 a month. But we have a very good support of our partner, and we are now offering the platform free to all the kids in Singapore. So I think in Korea, you have to figure out how you can do something similar if you want our kids to become data aware or machine learning or AI aware at a very young age. And yes, we also go down all the way to primary schools. These are the K-12. So we actually had a bootcamp just a couple of weeks ago. Again, lots of education is required because without doing that, I cannot meet my target of the 100 experiments. So if we look at the overall pipeline of how AI Singapore and how we are going about doing the talent development, you have to remember, without doing this talent development, looking at 5 or 10 years horizon, we cannot achieve getting the whole industry uplifted. So we have the AI apprenticeship program targeting at professionals. We plan to train about 500 of them over the next 5 years. It's very expensive. I cannot do thousands, right? I mean, you read in the newspaper, countries wanting to train 250,000. It is possible, but it's too expensive, all right? With the budget I have, 500 is doable. Going down wider to the industries, we have reaching out to, even to secondary schools, to students, to the kids. There's a gap here for the traditional commercial schools and academia. That one, this tier, we leave it to the commercial players to continue to run their business. So my focus is really how do we enable as many people to be more aware of AI as fast as possible at near zero cost. Most of these programs are free. I've gotten funding for it and able to do it at nearly zero cost or at very, very little cost to the individuals. The apprenticeship is a very expensive program, and that's why today we only restrict it to our Singapore citizens. We have many, many requests from foreigners and so on, but we have to reject them because I can share with you the cost of training one apprentice is roughly about 160,000 Singapore dollars over 9 months. So it's a very expensive endeavor, but we have no choice. We need these people to be in the industry. So I've shared with you what AI Singapore have done, right? From research to grand challenges to getting the industry adopt AI. So funding them is one, but just giving them money alone is not enough. We need to train the talents so that they can actually undertake the projects. And we are very, very clear about that. So with that, I'd like to end. Thank you.